Now this question was asked in GATE 2005, and in this question we are not using any static variables. It is just a simple recursive programming function, and they want us to find what is the value printed by this printf statement. Okay, so here in this printf statement we have called f of 2 comma 1, right? That means this f of 20 comma 1, sorry, so this 20 value will be given to this n, and this 1 value will be given to this n. So initially we have called f of 20 comma 1. So when we called f of 20 comma 1, that means the value of n is 20 and the value of k is 1. So this first statement will not be executed because the value of n is 20 and 20 is not is equal to 0. Now this second statement is saying if n modulus 2, that means if n modulus 2, right? So if the value of n is odd, then this statement will return us true. If the value of n is even, then this statement will return us false. How? The value of n is 20, so this statement will become if 20 mod 2. And what is 20 mod 2? That means divide 20 by 2, and what is the remainder? The remainder is 0, so this statement will become if 0. And if 0 means false, right? Therefore this statement will not be executed. We are going to execute the third statement. The third statement is going to give me return f of n by 2, which is 20 by 2 is 10, comma 2 into k, which is 1 into 2 is 2, minus k, which is 1, right? So we are going to again calling this calling this function. So it is now going to give me the value of n is now 10 here, and the value of k is now 2 here. So if you are again calling this function, then this statement number 1 will not be executed. The statement number 2, it will not be executed because the value of n is 10, and 10 divided by 2 is going to give us remainder as 0, and the statement will become if 0. If 0 means false, therefore statement number 2 will not be executed. Statement number 3 will be executed, and it is going to return f of 10 by 2, which is 5, comma 2 into 2 is 4, so it is going to return us 5 comma 4 minus this 2. Okay, so when the value of we called 5 comma 2, therefore the value of n is now 5 and the value of k is now 4, right? And then we are going to again call this function. Now in this time the statement number 1 will not be executed. Statement number 2, so what is the statement number 2? If n modulus 2, right? So what is 5 mod 2? 5 mod 2 is now going to give us 1 as remainder, because if you divide 5 by 2, then you are going to get a remainder as 1, right? Therefore this second statement will become if 1, and if 1 means true, therefore we are going to execute this second statement now. So it is going to return us f of n by 2, right? And the value of n is 5. 5 by 2 is now going to give us 2 only, because it is n is an integer number, right? Comma 2 into k, and the value in k is 4, therefore it is now going to give us 8 plus k, therefore it is now going to add this 4 here, right? So when we called f of 2 comma 8, right? So when we call f of 2 comma 8, again the value of n is now 2 and the value of k is now 8. Now this statement number 1 will not be executed. Statement number 2 is n modulus 2, and the value of n is 2. 2 divided by 2 is going to give us the remainder as 0. So therefore statement number 2 will not be executed. It is now going to execute the statement number 3, and the statement number 3 will now be giving us, I'm writing here, okay, so statement number 3 will now be giving us f of n divided by 2, and the value of n is 2. So 2 divided by 2 is going to give us 1, comma 2 into k. So the value of k was 8. So 2 into k is 16, minus it is going to give us k, which is 8. Okay. So when we called f of 1 comma 16, it is the value of n is now 1 and the value of k is now 16. So statement number 1 will not be executed. Statement number 2 is n modulus 2. So if we do 1 mod 2, then it is going to give us 1, right, which is true. Therefore we are going to execute this return statement, and this return statement is now going to give us f of n by 2, that means 1 divided by 2 is now, which is going to give me 0.5, and this n is an integer number, so it is only going to store the integer part. So 0, it is now going to call 0 comma 2 into k, and the value of k is 16, right? So it is going to call f of 0 comma 16 plus k, right? So now it is going to calculate this value. So the value of n is now 0 and the value of k is now 16. So when the value of n is 0, the statement number 1 will be executed and it is going to return us 0. Okay, so here this k was actually 16. Okay, so it is not going to return us 0. So 0 plus 16 is going to give us 16. Now we are passing this value 16 to this function. So 16 minus 8 is going to give us 8. So this 8 value will be passed to this function. So it is going to give us 8 plus 4, which is 12, and this 12 value will be passed to this function. It is going to give us 12 minus 2, which is 10. So this 10 value will be passed to this function, and it is going to give us 10 minus 1, which is 9. Therefore this 9 value will be passed to this function. Therefore this return call is now going to give the output as 9. So it is going to print 9. Therefore option number C is correct. Okay, now let us see more programs.